Welcome to PhotoshopUser TV, produced by PhotoshopUser Magazine and the National Association of Photoshop Professionals. And here are your hosts, the Photoshop guys, Dave Cross, Matt Kloskowski, and Scott Kelby.
This week's episode is brought to you in part by CDW. For hardware, software, gadgets, and more, CDW has the right technology right now. On One Software, developers of award-winning plugins that help you maximize the power of Photoshop. MPix, delivering the highest quality prints and products from your photos, period. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. And iStock Photo, the world's preeminent collection of member-generated royalty-free images and digital art.
Hi everybody and welcome to another locale episode of PhotoshopUser TV, produced by the National Association of Photoshop Professionals and brought to you by PhotoshopUser Magazine. Matt, show them the magazine.
There we go.
There it is right there.
Did I do good?
Yeah, it was excellent.
Thank you.
Well, hi everybody, I am Scott Kelby, president of the National Association of Photoshop Professionals, and that's why they have me here. Joining me as always, my buddy Matt Kloskowski.
Welcome back, everyone.
Matt is a man of few words.
Yes.
But he has very wild hand gestures and things. The choppy, pointy, all that kind of stuff. He loves that. Hey, speaking of that, I found out, I got an email from a reader last week that said that I do a hand gesture on the show that apparently doesn't mean anything here in the United States, but in Europe causes quite a bit of fun every time I do it. I hesitate to do that again now that I know that it's something naughty, but I don't even know how to just, not that one. Well, I heard that one too, that's not good. Apparently just, I shouldn't do things other than maybe choppy.
Or pointy.
Choppy and pointy, that's what I'm best known for. Anyway, so to those of you who've been watching us on the web in Europe, sorry. Or, that's a joke. For those of you who are watching us here in the United States on Fox Business Network, we air on Wednesday night at 1:30 in the morning, which is really technically Thursday morning, but don't even think of that. So go check your local listings. We're 1:30 on the East Coast, and I think we're 1:30 in all the different time zones, but I could be totally wrong, and a lot of times I am. So you're probably wondering where our buddy Dave Cross is.
Where's Dave Cross?
Dave Cross is on the road. See how? Where is Dave Cross? Good, thanks. That's good. Good banter. Dave's on the road with his Photoshop tour. He's going to be out. Actually, he's on the road so much he's going to be out this week and next week. But he'll be back joining us after that. But we have a special guest in the studio today, Eddie Tapp. Holy crap! It's Eddie Tapp. Eddie Tapp's going to be here later on. Eddie Tapp's great. I mean, he's a Photoshop expert. He's in the Photoshop Hall of Fame. He's a Canon Explorer of Light. He's just a genius guy. We love Eddie. So he'll be here.
He's just an all-around good guy.
Eddie rocks.
Now, one of the other things that we want to let you know about, so Scott's going to do a tutorial here, but before we get to it, I know you are going to Photoshop World. Maybe not you, but the person next to you.
Well, you're going because you're the cameraman.
Yeah. Somebody's going to Photoshop World. If you are going, there's portfolio reviews. So this is where you get experts in the industry for free to take a look at your portfolio. So it's actually free for paid attendees, and you got to go to photoshopworld.com and to the website and actually sign up for it. So if you're going to the conference, make sure you sign up for it. And the other thing is, if you're not actually going to the conference, but you live in the Orlando area, there's a free Tech Expo pass. So we open up the expo on Thursday, April 3rd, and Friday, April 4th. And you got to go to photoshopworld.com again and get yourself a free pass. Yeah. Because it's cool.
And it's cool because you can see all kinds of like vendors like, Canon and Nikon and Wacom and Epson and everybody like that. So.
And there's training on the floor too, on the expo floor.
Oh, there's all kinds of training and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we hope you check it out if you're in the Orlando area. Photoshop World, it's on April 2nd through 4th. I'll be there, Matt will be there, Dave will be there, but you never know.
And him too.
Right there. All right. Hey, I've got a tutorial.
I think you should do your
tutorial. I'd like to do it for you now. May I?
You may.
Thank you. All right, so my tutorial is basically for wedding photographers, and it's how to create an image that blends from black and white to color. And there's a lot of these. These are very popular in wedding albums and things. So we're going to open a picture of Stacy here. Stacy used to be our in-house web expert. She was, and then she got married. No, just kidding. Okay. And so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to start off by duplicating the background layer, so we'll just drag it over here. And I'm going to make that background layer black and white by going Image, Adjustments, and then choosing Desaturate. This just basically removes all the color from the image. All right, now, so I have a black and white image on one layer, and then here's the original color, and then here's the black and white up here. I'm going to hit the layer mask icon right down here at the bottom of the layers palette. I'm going to zoom in for those of you watching us on your iPod. It's that little icon right there, the third one at the bottom of the layers palette. I'm going to click on it, then we're just going to go grab the gradient tool. Now, to blend these two images together, all I have to do is like click and drag, and it blends the image from black and white to color. You can actually see the flowers on this end now are black and white, and it kind of slowly goes into like a tint, and then it goes to full color here. Now, you can of course drag in different directions if you wanted to go the other way. I don't really know why you would want to do that, but you never know. Or you can even go this way, up and down. All right, so that's one way to do it. I think it would look better if she was in color. And there we go. That actually looks kind of cool. All right, so that's one effect that you can do. Another effect you can do is let's go ahead and remove the layer mask. All right, so actually let's just delete this all together and we'll start from scratch. Duplicate the layer. Here's a shortcut. Command-J on Mac, Control-J on PC, jumps that layer up there. Then let's remove the color again. Right here to desaturate. And this time what we're going to do is I'm going to draw a big oval, kind of an oval in the middle, something like that. And we're going to soften the edges, add a feather. So I'm going to go under the Select menu, under Modify to Feather, and add a nice like softening effect, 100 pixels, something like that. This is a low resolution image. If this were a high resolution image from my digital camera, I would do more like 200 or 250 pixels, but this is a low resolution just to use on the show here. So we click OK, then all you're going to do is hit delete, and what it does is it makes a soft gradation, if you will, from the color in the middle, and then it's black and white alongside all the edges.
I like that one.
Thank you, Matt. All right, one last one I want to give you, and this one is kind of cool. So we're going to duplicate the layer. All right, you want to do this on a high resolution image, but we're going to just do it with this low resolution. I'm going to desaturate this part of the image. Okay, then we're going to go to free transform. Now, because this is just going to be a background image, I can drag this and make it much, much larger. All right, now I would not do this normally, just grab and drag and make things bigger, except for since this is a background image, it doesn't need to have as much sharpness and resolution, especially when you see what I'm going to do to it. All right, so we kind of get it in there just like that. All right, so here's our background image, and you can see it is a little soft, but with a high resolution image, it would not be nearly that soft. Now I'm going to take the background image, duplicate it, and bring it up top. And we're going to make this image, I'm going to go to free transform, pressing Command-T or in PC Control-T. We're going to make this real small and kind of bring it in right over this little shot of Stacy. Now, to make Stacy look like she's back screened a little bit, I'm just going to add a new layer above Stacy, fill it with white, press Option-Delete or Alt-Backspace on a PC to fill it with white, and then I'm going to lower the opacity to give us kind of a back, just a little faded out there. Then all we do to finish this off is go to the Effects little pop-up menu. We're going to add a drop shadow behind Stace. And I feel like I can call her Stace. You know, I've known her for many years. There we go. And then we're just going to go down here and click on Stroke and give her a white stroke. To do that, I have to click on the little color thing.
I kind of like red.
Thank you. Make it white. I know you like red. And we'll change this to inside so it's nice and sharp. The edges are nice and sharp. Maybe knock it down to 2 pixels to get a nice little effect like that. So there's a couple things you can do mixing color and black and white together. Hey, we're going to take a short break. Remember, when we come back, we've got Eddie Tapp here. So Eddie's going to be doing a special segment for us. We're very excited to have him on because he's, well, a really, really cool guy. And of course, Matt's got his tutorial.
I have my tutorial.
We've got a contest. We've got one for the road. We've got a whole bunch more. So stick around. We'll be right back right here on Photoshop User TV.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, we're expanding. We're gonna need a lot more stuff. Let's start with servers. Okay, HP ProLiant, IBM, Sun. Oh, good. And networking. Cisco, 3Com. Wow, is there anything you guys don't have?
With over 1,000 top technology brands to choose from, in stock and ready to ship, we're there. CDW.
What do you think about getting some takeout after this?
We are back. Scott Kelby here with Matt Kloskowski. And holy crap, it's Eddie Tapp! See, this is why we're on at 1:30 in the morning, because we say stuff like that. But Eddie's here.
Hi, Eddie.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Matt. Hey, Scott.
What's going on?
It's great to be here with you. I always enjoy coming here and seeing you and seeing everybody or your crew.
Eddie.
Yes.
Way too formal for us.
No.
No, Eddie's our buddy. You know what we love?
It's just us and 3 people out there.
Yeah, you know what we love? We love Eddie Tapp. Eddie is the greatest guy. You heard us talking about him a little bit earlier. We talked about him being, you know, a Photoshop expert and a book author and this incredible photographer. I mean, he's known all over the world.
Explorer of Light.
Canon Explorer of Light. He's like trained everywhere from Dubai to the Philippines here in like the last month, and he's just been everywhere, done it all. God, everybody wants to be Eddie Tapp. And so anyway, Eddie was in town. Eddie's doing some more classes for KelbyTraining.com, which is where we have our online training classes. And Eddie's got some of the most popular classes on the whole thing. And so Eddie was here, and we said, Eddie, you got to come on the show, buddy. And so, Eddie, what'd you bring for us?
I'll tell you, I brought one of my favorite techniques I want to share with you. It's what I call the Monty Zucker soft focus technique, the MZ soft focus filter. Developed this in Photoshop in Monty Zucker's honor when he was asking for a soft focus filter in Photoshop. This is unique, and it actually leans back towards a film soft focus filter. So if you don't mind, I'd like to jump right in here.
We don't mind one bit.
And show you exactly.
Yeah, we don't mind one bit, Eddie. In fact, we were kind of hoping that's why you were here.
Okay, good deal. Well, as you can see, I'm going to bring out the layers palette, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the layer, the first layer, just Command or Control J. And we're just going to blur this. Before I do the blur, I'm actually going to go to Image and Image Size. I'm going to take a look at the file size here. It's about 28 megs, okay? And what does that mean? That means I'm going to go to Blur, Filter, and it can be a Gaussian blur or surface blur. We'll just use Gaussian blur here. But I'm going to type in 28 pixels. So there's kind of a connection to the file size here. And this is not in stone, but it sure helps.
It's a good reference.
It's a good reference.
That's cool.
I know, I was about to say, I've never known that, Eddie. Thanks.
So what we're going to do here, we're going to change the blending mode from normal to darken. But the key, we're going to change the opacity down to around 30 or 40%. Let's go to about, say, 33% here. And now we're going to duplicate this layer. That's Command or Control J once again. But we're going to switch this blending mode from darken over to lighten. And we're going to take the opacity up to around 60 or so percent. So what's happening here, when we used to put a diffuser on the lens, a soft focus filter, we would diffuse the shadow region, or highlight region. And if we did diffuse printing in the darkroom, we'd actually diffuse the shadow region. So this is kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
We've got control of the shadow and highlight, and it's generating a beautiful diffusion area. So by holding down the Shift key, I'm going to select both layers, continue to hold the Shift key down, and add a group here. Let me pull the layers palette up here. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click on the group icon. That positions both of those soft focus layers in the group. And you know what we can do with this? We can add a layer mask. And with the brush tool, we can paint back areas that we want to come back through a little extra sharp, such as the eyes and the eyebrows and the teeth and lips and that sort of thing. So I'm doing this without a Wacom tablet, which is unusual for me. And maybe even a little bit under the nostrils. So
yeah, very good.
Okay, so that is the Monty Zucker soft focus filter technique. But that's not all.
Oh, but there's more.
But there is more. And where there is more, it's like, I used to use a Hasselblad with a soft focus filter, and it was called the Soft Tar.
The Soft Tar. I was just going to say the Soft Tar. Yeah.
And actually, this technique is the one technique that actually looks like that did. So if I wanted to get to a Soft Tar 2, all I'd have to do is duplicate this group. And look at that, it just adds the multiplied the technique. And what about, if we can do that, we can go one more, can't we?
We could.
Make Soft Tar 3.
You're Eddie Tapp, you can do anything you want.
But look how beautiful this soft filtered effect is. And this, of course, is the original. And this is Kelly, who modeled for us for one of my sessions.
Yeah.
For Kelby training. So I'm very excited. She's a beautiful model. And this is the Monty Zucker soft focus filter before and after. And I just love this technique. It's no retouching, just an enhancement technique that works beautifully well for portrait type of work.
Sweet.
Yeah,
thank you, Eddie. So what's coming up next for you? I know you're doing the online training course, but what are you doing? You're doing training line everywhere. What's your next big thing?
Well, one of the things I'm most excited about is a workshop that Judy Host and I are doing together, and that's going to be in May, and it's going to be in Maui, Hawaii. at the Institute of Visual Arts.
Oh, it's in Maui.
Now,
Poor Eddie.
Would you happen to need an assistant for
Or
that?
two, perhaps.
As a matter of fact, I do. I need somebody to carry
I
my
know a couple-
computer and
Dude, we can carry computers like you would not believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I hold a reflector? Anything.
you can do that.
Hey, that sounds great, though. Judy's terrific, and you're Eddie Tapp from Son of a Gun. So, actually, you're Eddie Tapp, Son of a Gun. No. Anyway, just trying out a new slogan. It could have worked. Where can they find out more about your new tour?
At eddietapp.com, and that's EDDIETAPP.com. My schedule's there.
You can also go to HOLYCR. No.
AP.
No. Go to eddietapp.com because, well, that's where you'll find the information.
Thank you, Scott.
Eddie, buddy, thank you very much for hanging out with us today. Don't forget you can catch Eddie's online classes. In fact, you can actually go see a little free preview of Eddie's classes over at kelbytraining.com. So go to kelbytraining.com and go check out some of Eddie's stuff. And thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you, Scott.
And hope to see you in Maui. Of course, I won't be there, but
Oh, come on.
I'm sure a lot of fun, happy people will be. You're at Randy Hufford's, the Institute of Visual Arts, is it?
Yes, IVA, Institute of Visual Arts.
I've taught there. Matt's taught there.
We have.
Yeah.
It rocks.
That's
We love
right.
it. We love Randy. He has a
yeah.
great program. Hey, stick around. We've got a lot more for you. Some tutorials. Matt's got his tutorial. We've got some giveaways and some news and that kind of stuff. Stick around. A lot more right here on Photoshop User TV. Don't go away. We are back, the Photoshop guys, with you, flying the missing man formation.
Dave Cross is not here.
No Dave, but he will be back in a couple of weeks. We're pretty certain. Hey, Mr. Kloskowski, you brought a tutorial for us, didn't you, my friend?
I did bring a tutorial, and since Dave Cross isn't here, there's a color in my tutorial. As you'll see on screen here, it's red. It's basically a red tutorial. So it's in memory of Dave
It
Cross
is
because he can't be
a
here.
tribute to our Canadian friends.
Actually, Scott,
That's the weakest segue
I know.
I've ever seen.
I've got a tutorial. Do you remember the Steam episode?
How could I forget? Well,
Gosh,
yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is probably about a year ago now, Matt was doing a tutorial on how to create steam from a coffee cup, and at one point in the tutorial he zoomed in, and he happened to zoom in right on the woman's cleavage in there, and we all just died on the set, and we couldn't regain our composure. Well, our editor at the time, she left the entire thing in of us just laughing and dying, and it became a thing, and
It was
it's
hysterical.
been our most popular episode ever, sadly.
I'm
But,
trying to see if I can go back here and look to see actually which one it was. It was either August 14th or May 15th
Of 2007,
2006. No, 2006.
Oh, 2006.
Yeah, I forget which. If you're a NAP member and you can go back to the archives, it's one of those two, and that's been too much time here on it. Anyway, well, if you remember the Steam episode, it's part 2. I've got smoke.
Wow.
But I'm not going to create it from scratch. There's a much easier way. So I saw an ad the other day, and I could tell that, the way it was shot, that there wasn't really the smoke in the ad, and they had put it in there, and I started thinking that was pretty cool, and I wanted to see how they could do it. So I went to iStock, and I downloaded just a photo of smoke. And if you go to iStock photo and you type in smoke, you'll get lots of them. And so I downloaded a photo of smoke, and I want to put it into the photo you see behind over here. So the first step is just get the image over there. Real easy way, just hold down the Shift key, take your Move tool, and just click and drag it over, and you'll see it'll pop over onto that other image. Mine started out blue, and when you're on the website and you find these photos of smoke, they're going to be all different colors. The best thing to do is just take all the color out. Scott showed you desaturate in his tutorial. Keyboard shortcut, Command-Shift-U on the Mac or Control-Shift-U on the PC. And that is the shortcut for desaturate. It takes all the color out of it. Now, what I want to do here is, because if you look at the smoke right now, the smoke it's all dark. Well, we really want our smoke to be a lighter color. All right. So in order to do that, I need to invert the colors. I'm just going to press Command-I on Mac or Control-I on PC. And you can see here it already kind of starts to take place. You can see the smoke, it really shows up. And the only problem we have is we've got a black background on it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to my layer blend modes and take it from normal. Let's take it down to screen. And as soon as I do that, you see the black goes away. And now we have the smoke on the image. At this point, you could probably stop. I mean, you've got the smoke in here. If it's too dark, too light.
Smoke on the
I knew it was coming. So if it's too dark or too light, there are some things you can come in and do to tweak it. So I go into levels, just hit Command or Control and the letter L. And you can see here we could start to drag the slider. So if I take the white slider here, that's going to kind of make all the smoke a little bit brighter.
That looks pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's very cool. And you can see if you take the black slider, it starts to take some of the light areas away and leave you with just some of the the extreme bright areas of the smoke.
That's smoking.
Very smoky.
Sorry.
And then if you take this gray slider over here, you'll see you'll get you're kind of making the smoke brighter or darker here. And then obviously when you're done, if it's too much, just drop your opacity down a little bit. Finally, add some text and you've got smoke.
Sweet.
Smoke.
Very nice.
Yes,
very nice.
I was surprised at how easy it actually was once you had the photo smoke to add in there.
All righty. Hey, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
I like
Scott.
that quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Hey, a couple things. First off, we're going to do our contest here in a minute, but we need to tell you something about we're having to change our contest because we're now broadcast on Fox Business Network, and they require us, because they're mean, to send in, no, I'm kidding, to send in 2 weeks ahead, to send our episodes 2 weeks ahead. Well, that makes it really tricky for us to be able to do a contest and then announce who the winner is because this happens weeks in advance, blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to do is we're going to post the winner's name from each contest on the web. So go to our website, PhotoshopUser TV, to see if you entered the contest, to see if you've won. You also enter the contest at the website. You're already there anyway. See if you won. Hey, and it's important because this week's contest winner is going to win a full conference pass to Photoshop World. So
Sweet.
It's worth $600 or more. I think maybe $700 depending on if you're a net member or not. Okay, so first, last week's contest. Our winner, you have to go to the website to find out the winner's name. But we showed a dialog box and asked which dialog box it was. And Matt, it was?
It was the Fit Image dialog box. You'll find it under the File Automate menu.
Yep, Fit Image. All right, so because we're giving away a full conference pass to Photoshop World, I'm going to give you a really tricky question for this one. All right.
It's tricky.
Let's say that you have a layer and you've added a drop shadow to it, and you add another layer with a drop shadow, another layer with a drop shadow. There's a way, it's a control in one of the menus that will let you change the angle of all of the drop shadows on all the layers at one time. So if all of your drop shadows were down and to the right and you said, I would like them up and to the left, it will move all of your drop shadows, and no matter how many layers you have applied drop shadows to, it'll move them all at once. All I need to know is, what is that control called?
Fit Image.
No, it's not Fit Image. So go to the website and check it out.
They win a full conference pass to Photoshop World?
Yeah, if they get it right, we're going to choose one winner. Of course, we'll have thousands will enter, few will win. Few is one. One person will win. So go to the website, PhotoshopUser TV, you can enter. Hey, we want to leave you with a couple of things between now and next week, and then Matt's got one for the road, a little trick to take you out today. But I want to tell you about a couple of things. First, I want you to go check out mpix.com. Now, Matt and I, we do a lot of our own printing. We have Epson printers, and we're like printing freaks. But a lot of times, we want to send stuff out to a lab. And I also have people ask me, what's a good lab? Let me tell you what's a good lab. Use the lab that we use. MPix, MPIX.com. Now, a lot of pros use MPix, but if you're an amateur, or a good amateur, they don't mind at all. So go and check them out, MPix.com. They do it all.
Can't say enough good stuff about them.
Great books, prints, you name it.
All right, I'm going to give you a website here, doityourselfphotography.net, and the name kind of speaks for itself. It's a lot of tips, techniques, and tricks for doing it yourself with photography, different lighting setups and various ideas. It's DIYphotography.net.
All right, one of mine is going to be go to Moose's news blog. Moose Peterson's got a blog, but what he did was, if you're a Nikon either D300 or D3 owner, he's done some little video clips that show you the same settings that he uses on how to set up his D3 and D300, and it's terrific. Little short movies, they're free. Go check it out at the website. You see right here on the screen.
Finally, the Santa Fe Workshops in Santa Fe, New Mexico has just released their brand new catalog for summer and fall of '08. Scott's taught there, I've taught there, Eddie Tapp has taught there.
Eddie Tapp, of
And
course.
you know, here's the thing. You can go there if you're looking at going to a workshop. They produce literally one of the best workshops out there.
Outstanding.
But the catalog itself is just great to look at. There is so much just stunning photography inside of that catalog.
And
so,
you can download it for free from their site. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
All right, I'm going to give you one last quick one. I shot this week with a highlight background. If you've heard about them, they're these big backgrounds. They're white. They're freestanding. You put a strobe inside because it's got two sides, and you get a white, shadowless, beautiful background every time. It's incredible. Go check them out at boganimaging.us or any of the Bogan Imaging sites. All right, Matt. One for the road. Give us a tip to take us out of here.
I got a tip to take us out of here. Yes, thank you. All right, so inside the layers palette, let's say you've got 5 or 6 different layers that you've added to your image, and the background layer is usually the image that you've started with, and you want to see like a before and after. Well, there really is kind of hard to see a before and after. So the tip is on the Mac, hold down the Option key, on the PC, hold down the Alt key, and click on that little eyeball on the layer, and it hides everything else. And then if you click on it again, it shows everything else. So it literally is like a before and after of your photo or whatever
Sweet.
you're working on.
Very nice.
Thank you.
A little shortcut from Matt Klaskowski. Hey, next week we will be back, of course, with Dave Cross. So he's going to be out again next week because he's on the road with his Photoshop tour. But in the meantime, you can check out, Matt's got a blog you can check out. It's called LightroomKillerTips.com. He teaches Lightroom and does tutorials, video tutorials and tips, has photographic inspiration. Also, feel free to stop by my blog. I'm bloggy. ScottKelby.com and check out the latest stuff there. Hey, thanks so much to all of our sponsors. Thanks for you watching us on your iPods and on Fox Business Network and on the web. I'm Scott Kelby, and for Matt Klaskowski, see you guys next week.